Okay, let's unpack this. For a long time, horror it was kind of seen as just cheap thrills, something for jump scares, right?
Right, yeah. Popcorn flicks, mostly. Maybe not taken too seriously, critically.
Exactly. But that perception, it feels like it's completely shifted. I
Ah.
mean, dramatically. Today, horror is delivering some genuinely profound, really thought-provoking films.
Oh, absolutely. Some of the most interesting conversations in cinema are happening around horror right now.
So to help us navigate this shift, we looked at this article from Collider. It's called 10 Greatest Horror Masterpieces of the Last 10 Years, ranked. Published pretty recently.
Mm-hmm. And it's a great starting point.
Yeah, and it's more than just a list, you understand. It feels like a window into how the genre's really well evolved, how it's maybe redefined itself.
Yeah, redefine is a good word for it.
So our goal for you today, listening in, is to get past just the scares, the surface stuff, and really understand why these specific films are being called masterpieces, like what makes them special.
And what do they tell us? About society, about our fears, right
Right.
now.
Exactly.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how the article frames this whole thing as a renaissance for horror.
A renaissance, yeah.
It suggests we've moved past what it calls a confused noughties era, the 2000s, basically.
Right, the naughties. What did they mean by confuse?
Well, the implication is that maybe horror in the 2000s felt a bit directionless. Lots of found footage, maybe some stuff that critics felt was less about substance, you know?
Okay, I see. And the article points to specific players.
Yeah, it mentions production companies like A24 specifically,
Right.
saying they played a big role in this shift.
A24. Makes sense. They have a distinct style.
For sure. And it raises this big question. What actually changed in the last, say, 10 years to push horror from being sort of niche
Mm.
to being a real contender for like major awards, Oscars even?
That's really the core of what we want to get into. So whether you're already a big horror fan,
Yeah.
or maybe you're just curious about what makes any film great,
Yeah.
this deep dive should give you some solid insights into these trends. We want to give you that context, that understanding, so you can really appreciate the depth here.
Yeah. Look beyond the label horror.
Okay, so how does the article actually define what makes modern horror great? It starts by acknowledging horror has this incredible history, and that at its best, horror is visceral, spine-chillingly unforgettable. Standard stuff, maybe.
Sure. The gut reaction.
But here's the twist, according to the article.
Uh-huh.
The most impactful horror now, it also delivers thought-provoking and often socially charged concepts.
Ah, okay. So it's not just about the scares.
Exactly, like the best dramas, aiming for something deeper.
So connecting that with the bigger picture, it suggests modern horror isn't purely about making you jump anymore. It's about resonance.
Evidence, yeah.
How it reflects society's anxieties, maybe tackles social issues head on, pushes artistic limits, things you'd expect from prestige drama.
Right.
And the article implies that's what qualifies a horror film as a masterpiece now, that depth.
It feels like a real reevaluation of what the genre can even do.
Definitely. Pushing it into conversations it wasn't always part of.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The #1 film on their list, Get Out, from 2017.
A huge film. Landmark, really.
And the article explicitly says it's not scary in that traditional jump scare way.
Right.
It says the horror lies under its surface, which kind of challenges everything, doesn't it? If the top horror film isn't conventionally scary.
That's a great point. How did it redefine things so much and connect with, well, everyone, including the Academy, if it wasn't about the immediate fright?
Exactly.
Well, I think what Get Out really showed us is that the scariest things now aren't always, monsters jumping out. It's the uncomfortable truths.
The social stuff.
Exactly. Jordan Peele basically used satire as a horror tool. He created this chilling reality rooted in systemic racism, social awkwardness, microaggressions.
Things that feel uncomfortably real.
Precisely. And that unique mix made it a massive hit, even at the Oscars, which was huge for horror. It proved that psychological dread, that social unease, can be way more lasting and critically acclaimed than just a creature feature.
It really did force a new conversation, didn't it, about what horror could say?
Totally. Artistically and socially.
Okay, so beyond Get Out and its social commentary, this list shows there's just incredible variety in this horror renaissance. So many different ways to make a masterpiece.
Oh, definitely. It's not just one thing.
Let's maybe touch on a few other standouts that show that range.
Yeah, good idea. So moving down the list, at #2, you've got Ari Aster's Midsommar from 2019.
Midsommar. Very memorable visuals.
Totally. And it's a great example of modern folk horror. For anyone maybe not familiar, folk horror often uses like old traditions, isolated communities, maybe pagan stuff.
Right, things that feel ancient and unsettling.
Yeah, twisting it into something deeply disturbing. It taps into more primal fears, not just sudden shocks.
Less jump scares, more dread.
Exactly. And the article highlights Florence Pugh's performance, as Dunny calls it, one of Pugh's best. It captures that weird mix the film has. It's a darkly comic tale, but also a really affecting horror story.
And those visuals.
Oh yeah, terrifying visuals, even under that bright Swedish sun, which is part of what makes it so unnerving.
It feels like a nightmare in broad daylight. So it's about that unsettling beauty, that slow burn, creating psychological dread.
Precisely. And then if you want something more purely atmospheric, look at The Witch, 2015. Number 4 on the list.
Robert Eggers' debut, right?
Yeah, and the article calls it one of the finest directorial debuts. It's set in 17th century New England, pure puritanical dread.
Very specific vibe.
Totally. It just masterfully creates this intense atmospheric horror, that feeling of constant unease built through the setting, the mood, not just explicit scare.
So it soaks into you.
Exactly. The article says each frame feels soaked in the movie's paranormal ambience. It builds this slow, suffocating terror out of the family's isolation, their paranoia. Even a goat seems terrifyingly real.
That kind of inescapable dread. Yeah, that sounds way more haunting than a quick scare. But what about, for people who like more action, more direct thrills?
Good question. If The Witch is about isolation and belief, then jump to Train to Busan from 2016, number 5.
The zombie train movie.
The zombie train movie.
Yeah.
And it totally revitalized the zombie genre, right? It ditched the slow, shuffling undead for these rushing, violent, infected.
It's more intense.
Way more. And what's really clever, the article points out, is how the train itself, the KTX bullet train, becomes an extra character.
Right, the setting drives the action.
Yeah, it's this contained, high-speed pressure cooker that just ramps up the tension, turns a zombie outbreak into this claustrophobic, relentless thriller.
Okay, so we've got social commentary, folk horror, atmosphere, action. What else?
Well, we shouldn't forget how social relevance weaves into other types of horror, too, like His House from 2020, number 9.
His House, what was the angle there?
It's praised for its relevant take on the refugee experience, but through a haunted house lens.
Interesting combo.
Yeah, so you get the classic haunted house scares, but the article notes there's so much more simmering under the surface. It's really about the trauma, the guilt of displacement.
Ah, the ghosts are metaphorical, kind of.
Partly, yeah. Or maybe literal extensions of that trauma. It all boils over, forcing you to think about difficult things like asylum, belonging, survivor's guilt.
Powerful stuff, and global perspectives, too.
Definitely. Look at The Wailing from 2016 at number 10. South Korean film.
Heard great things about that one.
It's highlighted as one of the finest foreign language horrors. Super chilling exorcism film, this descent into, well, evil in rural South Korea.
Okay.
And apparently it gained even more affecting power following the 2020 global pandemic.
Why is that?
Because of its themes, I guess. This strange sickness spreading through a community, paranoia, questioning what's real. It probably hit differently after 2020.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that. So the artistry is undeniable across the board, but not all acclaimed films land the same way, right? Some push buttons.
For sure. And critical praise doesn't always equal universal audience love.
Right. Take This Substance from 2024. Number 6 on the list, starring Demi Moore. It's body horror, right?
Yep. Pure body horror. And for anyone unfamiliar, that subgenre deals with, well, grotesque changes to the human body, often exploring psychological themes through that physical transformation.
Some pretty confronting stuff.
Extremely. But this one got widespread praise, even talk of Academy Awards success.
For body horror. That's unusual.
It really is. The article says it screams its message of female self-loathing unapologetically, using really visceral imagery to tackle society's pressure on women, aging, the pursuit of perfection.
So it's using the grotesque to make a point.
Exactly. And this raises a really key point. How can a subgenre like body horror, often dismissed, as just gross out, suddenly get major recognition when it's done right, as the article says? It just reinforces that horror can win big awards now, tackling deep themes through really unconventional, even uncomfortable ways.
Proving its range again. Okay, and then there's Sinners. 2025 release, Ryan Coogler directing. Number 3, that's really high for a recent film.
Remarkably high. The article calls it the biggest breakout hit of the year so far. a genre-blending modern masterpiece.
Genre blending. How so?
It apparently combines folk horror with, get this, intricate musical drama.
Musical drama. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it praises Michael B. Jordan's performance, calls it his best, and mentions one musical scene specifically as an unforgettable cinematic moment. Sounds ambitious.
Very. But is everyone convinced?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. It's important to show the whole picture, right? The source article's comments section actually includes some pretty critical audience reactions to Sinners.
Ah, the comment section. Always revealing.
Isn't it just, you see people expressing confusion, maybe disappointment, comments like, I don't get Sinners until the vampires, then it turned left.
Vampires.
Yeah.
And musicals. Okay.
Or someone else wrote, not a great horror film. Pacing, editing, tone problems. Vampires line dancing.
Vampires line dancing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a choice.
Right. It really highlights how subjective this all is, especially when you blend genres so boldly. What critics hail as innovative.
Might leave some audiences scratching their heads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows that even films labeled masterpieces can spark debate and might not connect with everyone universally.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, it means even films that get top marks from critics can still stir up quite a conversation among viewers.
Yeah. What one person sees as genius, another might just not get or actively dislike.
And that's okay. It's all part of the, cinematic conversation. Different takes, different perspectives. That's what keeps art interesting.
Couldn't agree more.
So just to recap, we've sort of unpacked how modern horror has really changed, hasn't it?
Massively.
It's visceral, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but also deeply thought-provoking, incredibly relevant. It's moved way beyond just trying to make you jump. From the sharp social critique in Get Out to the unsettling folk horror of Midsommar, even to films like Sinners that challenge expectations and blend genres. These films are proving horror has immense artistic value.
Yeah, and I think what this all boils down to, ultimately, is that horror, when it's firing on all cylinders like this, is just a uniquely powerful way to look at our world.
A lens.
A lens on our deepest anxieties, our societal fears, and the fact that these top films often spark debate, or maybe their horror is more under the surface. That means they're doing exactly what great art is supposed to do. They make you think, make you question, make you feel something long after the credits roll.
They stick with you, engage you intellectually, emotionally.
Right.
It's more than just fright.
Precisely. It transcends the simple scare.
So, for you listening, here's maybe a final thought to chew on. If horror's real power now lies in being socially charged, in making us think, what current anxieties, what issues bubbling up in society right now do you think the next great horror masterpiece is going to tackle? What unsettling truth is kind of lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the right filmmaker to expose it?
Ooh, that's a good question to leave people with. What's the next Get Out going to be about?
Exactly. We'll just have to wait and see what frightful ideas emerge next.